Howdy. It is good to be streaming. Hello. You'll have to forgive me. Um, the province where I live, BC, announced that they were going to do some more COVID shutdowns of previously bars and restaurants had been open, and they decided they were going to close them down for 3 weeks at least. And so I wanted to go out last night and support my local establishments as best as I could. So I'm slightly hungover, but I think I can still do some coding. In particular, the thing we're working on right now is I'm trying to get the lasers working for the. Um, for the breakout game that we were making for the Game Boy. So the idea is I want to have a power up, which will give you the power to shoot lasers. The functionality is mostly there, so I don't actually expect getting them working to take very long. And we'll see how I'm feeling, depending on how long it takes, of course. We'll see how I'm feeling. We'll see if I want to do some other small things or get started on a bigger thing or something like that. But the priority is lasers right now. Okay, so yesterday we'd worked on the collision detection code. We'd rewritten the collision detection code so that way we could reuse most of the same logic that's used for when the ball collides with things. Right, that makes sense. And the laser code is to use that is there. Like I invoke this check for collisions procedure, which calls into this same. That's not what I'm looking for. Check current laser. Oh yeah, maybe it is. Check for collision, right? This is the heart of the collision detection routine, and this is all shared between the laser and the ball now. So, but unfortunately, this doesn't work for some reason. My hunch is that it doesn't work. I think because we are some sort of math errors here in terms of determining whether we're in bounds or not, and like which brick we are checking to see if we've collided with. So I'm just going to need to step through this kind of slowly, probably, and figure it out. So let's, I guess, get to that. I'm just going to recompile. I made a change so that I start with the laser, which is going to make this easier to debug. Oh, I need to actually reload the ROM. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah, so here we have a reading uninitialized WRAM bug or exception, I guess. The emulator catches that we're trying to read from an invalid memory address. Let's try to figure out why. So let's go look at hit brick call. So we think we're in column 4, which is wrong. The laser's clearly... Well, actually, is it? No. Because if I recall correctly... Let me just pull open the map and tile it. Okay, so... We should be... I guess that's column... Yeah, that should be column 0, 1, 2, but for some reason it thinks we're in column 4. So that's not a good sign. And then let's go to hit brick row. And I think we're in 19, decimal 19, which obviously doesn't exist. So clearly we're doing some math wrong, which is getting us to check the wrong rows and columns. So I'm just going to step through this, the code, like walk through it and see if I can make sense of what's wrong. So this just gets the X location into A. We check to see if we're in bounds. Let me go to laser X's. Okay, so yeah, so this is, that is 40. Yeah, I mean, we are in bounds. So we are at 40 right now. So let's see what's happening here. We're in bounds, so this is all fine. It's fine that we're doing this. We subtract 8 to get the position of the... why are we subtracting 8? Yeah, okay. Right, so the idea is that we subtract 8 to get the pixel position of it on screen, which is correct, but yeah, that makes sense. But we're not accounting for the fact that we don't start drawing. Like, we actually want to subtract 24, I believe. In fact, we could do... I'm not going to just yet, but we can actually do the bounds check here. We can say if this caused us to wrap, then return. So that will help, I believe. And I suspect we need to do something similar here. Like, we actually want to subtract 32. Let's just see if doing that gets things working again. It seems like that might be the bug. Yeah, it certainly seemed to work pretty well. Oh, it does draw the explosion at the wrong place. That's the only thing. But aside from that, it seems to work just fine, which is great. That's what I wanted. So I guess the only thing left to fix. Okay, 2 things left to fix. I'm gonna return C here. And do something similar over here. Right. So we'll do that, and that's just like ever so slightly more efficient, which is nice. And then I have to go and figure out how to get the effect to appear in the right place. So let me go over to Collide. That's going to be an on-brick destroyed, I guess. Start effect, yeah, okay. So, I mean, it makes sense. We were starting the explosion effect where the ball was, and now we just need to change it a little bit to start at where the brick that we hit was. Start effect at hit brick. Start particles at hit brick. Just going to need to do a tiny bit of extra math now because we were just using the ball's position, but we can't do that anymore. We need to use hit brick row. And then all we have to do is multiply that out by 4 and then add the let's see, what do we want to add? We want to add 16 to account for the fact that sprites OAM start, like the top of the screen is at 16 to let sprites go off screen a little bit. And I need to add another 16 as well because not for OAM plus because the bricks only start drawing 16 pixels into the screen. Call that brick padding, I guess. I spend too much time doing CSS. And we just have to do something similar for the X position as well. Okay. So this time we have to multiply by 8, and we only have to add 8 plus 8. I think that'll be right. It seems reasonable enough to me. And it compiled, so let's reload and see if that worked. And it definitely seemed to. Yeah, well, that's great. Oh, what happened there? Something happened there. We did have some kind of error here. Because we are checking to see hit brick row. Yeah, it's obviously completely wrong. Hit brick call is 0. What is going on? Why on earth are we checking for collision for this? Let me go take a look to see what is calling this. So I'm just looking over at the stack here to see whether this was a laser. This was a laser that did this. So let me go over to current laser. See what current laser is. Current laser is 0. Why would those numbers be so weird? This laser X is and laser Y. Yeah, so it says it's at 1E and 1F, I believe. Then the hit brick row was this bizarre number. I have no idea why. And the column was 0. How did that happen? Let me also go take a look at active lasers. Active lasers, right, that says that lasers 1 and 2 or 0 and 1, I guess, are active. Which looks about right based on these. Let me just take a look at the screen as well. I've got this blurring effect turned on. So, well, let me take a look at this. Yeah, so we got one laser up here and one laser over here. Completely reasonable. And we're hitting this error on this laser. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Want to become... I'm getting swamped by spammers. Oh dear. How do I ban? And I'm going to ban you as well. And I'm going to ban you as well. I mean, I appreciate the spam, kind of. I appreciate the attention from the spammers, but get the heck out. I do want to become famous, though. The spammers were right about that. I don't think it's ever going to happen sitting here doing assembly language programming for the Game Boy, but well, let's just keep going. You know, weird stuff happened, of course, because of that. I just want to see if I can reproduce this. Okay, so I can reproduce this by, it looks like firing, let me reset. It looks like I can reproduce this just by firing the laser somewhere out of bounds. So I think the bounds check is not working the way I want it to. So let me try that. That worked fine. So it's, yeah, so it's probably the not the left-right bounds check, but the top-bottom bounds check. There's probably something going wrong there. So let me go take a quick look at this. We get laser-wise, low date hurt. Yeah, this is all totally fine, unless the only thing I should check is to make sure that the array isn't spanning the page. Which would, where is that? Bustfree.map. There we go. That would trigger weird things, but it's not. So let's see. So we get that are we in bounds on the bottom? 9632. So let me go back over here to hit brick row 3F. Yeah, okay. Sorry, laser wise 1E. 1E is 16 plus, it's 30, right? So it's, yeah, it's at 30, which roughly checks out because the sprite there says it's at 32. So why doesn't this, oh, that's the problem. Just easy. Just forgot to add that return statement or instruction, whatever you want to call it. That should fix it. We just weren't doing the bounds check on the top. I just deleted it without reinstating it. I will say, I feel like I should do the collision detection with the center of the laser instead of the top left of the laser, because right now it doesn't look quite right. Yeah, so let me fix that as well. So instead of subtracting 24, or actually, I'm just going to subtract 20. Which that's effectively just adding 4 pixels in, which means we're going to check it closer to the center. And let me hit reload ROM, run on this as well. Yeah, that feels great. That feels right. We did it. It is done. Nice. Cool. Lasers working. All right. Let me save those changes into Git. Actually, git log refactor collision detection is done. I'm gonna add the change that I made to the effect to the previous commit. Because that was kind of, that whole previous commit was all about making the collision detection agnostic as to the ball, like not think about the ball. So I'm just going to amend that. No, git user, I don't want to give you a laser power to start with. Add collision detection for lasers. There we go. Git status. Check whoops. Just want to open up my to-do. So that was all I kind of really had planned for today. because I am hungover. Let me do. I guess let me do some of these like simple annoying things on stream just to kill some time. Basically, I don't want to start getting working on one of the other power-ups yet. I don't have it in me. So um, one thing I wanted to do is now that the ball collision code has been split out from the collision code in general, I want to move it over into ball.asm. So to do that, let's go over, because right now it's in collide, and that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So let me go do that. Although, I mean, there's something to be said for like, actually, maybe what I'll do is I'll have a ball. I still think bounce actually belongs in ball.asm, but I think some of the other stuff I can. Sorry, this is incoherent. Ball is going to bounce. I mean, is going to move into ball. Which probably means this doesn't need to be public anymore. Although bounce y and bounce x might need to be public. Okay. So I'm going to move those there. And then what I'm going to do is split this up into a new file, which I'm going to call ball collide. And that's just going to be this. Like this is going to have the bulk of the collision detection code. What it's not going to have is the sort of, maybe I don't want to do that. I'm just trying to think. I just feel like this belongs in a separate place. That's all. And these belong in a separate place. So I'm gonna actually make a new module. I'm gonna put this into. Oops. I'm gonna put this into it. Whoops. And I'm gonna call this like collision handlers. Like, as always, the point of all this is just to, and then this can be public. The point, the point of all this is just to keep any given module really small so that it's nice and easy to read and, you know, all that good stuff. ROM 0. I don't spend a lot of time scrolling through big long files or anything like that. And then I have to go over into my makefile because my makefile is terrible. And if the game got any bigger, I would use a real makefile, which would involve like installing the Windows Linux subsystem or whatever, a bunch of other stuff that I don't want to do. So. But that should be good. So I'm going to hit build and see if that builds. It does not build. Unknown symbol, bounce X, bounce Y. Yeah, that checks out. Let me go over to ball. Let's make these public. Let me. Can we actually invoke reflect ball but not bounce somewhere in collision, collide? Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. When it bounces off the... Oh, but there's no reason to. I can just call bounce X and bounce Y, which do that. Bounce X, right? Like that's what bounce X does. It reflects it and then it, oh, this, I see. No, it doesn't. This reflects it and then moves it. Just slightly subtle. Okay, so I don't want to change anything, so I'm just going to keep that public as well. Okay, just do a sanity test to make sure it still works. And it still works. Not super surprising. And then I'm going to take these, all these. Okay, this is good. Wait, do I ever even use these? I must use them somewhere, right? No, I think I can just wait. Where are they? No, yeah, I see. These are called from ball. This is. I need to fix up my naming. This is terrible. But yeah. So let me get all of this. Put this into a new file. Oh God, why does it screw up the indentation? I don't understand. Okay, I just copied and pasted. You'd think, and I'm going to call this ball collide.asm. Hopefully, this is just straightforward. I apologize for my grogginess, except not really. I think everyone has a God-given right to get hungover when they're not going to be allowed to go to a bar or restaurant food. You know, they say it's 3 weeks, but then they always say it's going to be some small number, and it never is. So I just hope that all my favorite places survive, and that all of the people who work there survive. You know, I think it's like, it's just really terrible. I understand the need to get things under control and stuff, but I think it's really terrible for them that just like on a whim they can be told the very next day without any compensation or anything like that that you don't have a job for 3 weeks, especially because they're not, it's not like they're like rolling in money and have tons of savings, right? Like when you work as wait staff or whatever at a restaurant. It's really upsetting, honestly. I understand that it's a pandemic and things have to be done, but I'm sad. That's all. I'm just really sad. Anyways, that's that. Maybe I'll stay on the stream later and just play some video games to make myself feel better. We'll see. I've got a million things to do. I'm going to call this check ball stage collide now to try to make this a little less confusing. Because it was originally called check stage collide, because the only thing we were doing collision detection with was the ball. And so it's like, well, check to see if it's collided with the paddle, check to see if it's collided with the sides, check to see if it's collided with the stage. But now I've got in collide, check for collision, and I'm doing collision checking with a bunch of other things. So this is really, it's confusing to just call this check stage collide. So let's do that. And then, I could do check ball top collide, check ball bottom collide, but right now the ball is the only thing that ever collides with those. So let's leave it as is to sort of minimize the amount of changes that I need to do. Okay, and then next, let me go over to, close that. Let me go over to, I think it's going to be in ball. I'm going to need to check stage collide. I'm going to need to I'll be right back. Pardon me. Sorry about that. I didn't even put up my BRB thing. That was very thoughtless of me. Well, what can I say? I'm hungover. Okay, and then I have to add that to the make file as well, huh? Let's see if that fixes it. Almost. Collide, I can get rid of all of these. Actually. And I can go put that over into ball collide. Yeah, there we go. And once again, let's do a sanity test to make sure it works. This is the sort of thing that I realized I prefer doing off stream just because it's really boring. Like refactoring code and stuff, especially after the first few streams where I did it. And I feel like I'm trying to do this sort of, I'm trying to be educational, you know, and I just feel like can I here configure editor to always use for space tags and script trailing wait space. There we go. I'll do that off stream as well. I just remember those? It was up here. I think it was worth showing it on stream the first couple of times, so that like in terms of like as an educational thing, you know, you sort of learn the importance of this kind of refactoring, like good strategies for doing it, maybe, possibly. Split collide code up a bit. Very good. Yeesh. It's good. I don't see how that's possible, but it's good. All those extra deletions. Did I forget to? No, everything's in there. But after I've done it a few times, I don't think it's especially interesting for other people to watch. But I'm hungover, so I will do whatever I want. Clear power-up state when you lose a life. That is a dumb bug that I should fix. So let me actually go to ball collide, much more orderly, and see exactly what happens when you lose a life. We collided some end game, right? We decrement the number of lives. We just do all this here. I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna change this into call not zero. So here we're just return. Sorry, I should have done not carry. Here I return, and then I've got the you lost a life logic down here. I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna instead call no carry to player die, I guess. Just all of that will go into game.asl where it belongs. Honestly, this belongs somewhere else as well, but I haven't really given that any thought. So player die. And I think this all basically stays the same, except I also need to go and load that into PowerUp stack. That fixes the bug there. I can probably make this private now, I believe. Ooh, what did I do there? Did not mean to do that. Ball on paddle. Where do I define ball on paddle? Is that in ball dot? I think it's probably in ball dot ink. Yeah. Okay. Easy. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. So let me just let me. Why am I doing this? Reload ROM. And go over to here. I'm gonna give myself power up. Oh no, what happened? Something terrible happened. Something just terrible happened. I don't even know what caused it. And we're just running garbage. We've gone off into the deep end. Oh dear. I should probably see if I can fix that. Let me see if that had to do with the power up or maybe my ball collision changes. I think it had to do with the laser power up. I don't know why that would have caused that. But we just jumped off a cliff, started running garbage. Well, let me test that change that I just made, first of all. I'm just gonna, yeah, and now I don't have the power up. Cool, so I did fix that. I gotta figure out what this crashing bug is, but let's fix that. So let's see if I can reproduce that. Oh no, I got a game over. Dang it. Yeah, whatever. I might need to wait a second. No, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to modify it. So it doesn't seem like it had anything to do with like firing the lasers here. Is it? Okay, it's just if I fired it all the way to the right, at the right side of the screen, bad things happen. So it's probably my bounds check on the right. If I had to guess, let me go look at my stack. What is it? I mean, I'm executing total garbage. So it's possible my stack has been corrupted or something like that too. 3D01. Yeah, I think I've already like blown my stack. None of this makes any sense. Like this could be where it's something going wrong here, where it's I really don't know. That's bizarre. What's going on there? No matter. Let me just check the right side code to see if I can figure out what's going on there. The are we in bounds on the right, for example? Oh yeah, okay. So I don't know exactly why this is causing. I must be writing something to my stack and then I just jump off into the void or something, return into the void. We don't want to be checking at 152. We want to be checking a slightly more precise location. Right, so I think, so this, the left side here starts at, the very left starts at 20, right? Or 16, I should say, and then we use 20 to get in there. So it starts at 16, so 16, 24, 32, 40, 44, or sorry, 48, 56, 64. This is dumb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's 16 across. Boy, I really can't brain today. So the right side of the screen is going to be 16 times 8, which is 128 plus 16. Calculator, give me a calculator. 128 plus 16 is 144. But we need to account for the fact that maybe I did think this through. I don't totally understand why everything's gone totally pear-shaped. Let me go to lasers X. Laser X's. So this is at 97 hex, which is, brain for me, 97 hex is 151. Okay, right, so it checks out as to why that is not being considered out of bounds. So we don't return because we are less than that, sure. So let me just do the math to figure out what we end up with. We're starting at 151 minus 20, then we are going to divide by 8. So we're in column 16. It checks out that is out of bounds. The highest column we want is column 15, right? So 128. So we want to be less than 148. Does that make sense? Oh, now I've confused myself terribly. Yeah. So suppose we're at 148, or like 140. Yeah. 148 minus 20, 128 divided by 8 is 16. And 147 minus 20 divided by 8 is 15. So just on the basis of this, I'm going to change this to 148, and I think that should fix it. I don't totally understand what's going on. I think I can delete this check entirely. There's no reason I need to be checking the bottom for a laser. Let me delete that check. Let's see how this goes. Let the game start. Oh, we do need the check because it'll wrap around. Like if the laser is at -1 or whatever, so to speak. So I'm gonna rebuild. I don't want to cancel reload run. Go to power up state. Modify code data. Let's give myself a laser. Let's go. There we go. Awesome. That fixed that bug beautifully, magnificently. So. Cool. Yeah, cool. Is there anything else? I'm at 45 minutes, which I feel is... Oh, I should read that. Not going to do this on stream. I still have no idea what's causing this. My guess is like the music playback is like it's just randomly, sometimes seemingly, it sometimes seems to happen. My guess is the music playback is taking a lot of extra time and causes us to disable LCD at the LCD at the wrong time. But I'm not sure, so I don't know. I don't even know if I'm gonna fix this. I don't even know if this is a real bug. I like feel as though when I adjust the speed of the ball speed slows down intermittently before speeding back up again, and I attributed it to the fact that things. I attributed it to things, and I'm not sure if they're actual things or not because I really couldn't figure it out. I should also take a look at the spin code, which is really weird. I feel like the spin isn't quite right. But I might actually never bother fixing those things at all. Anyways. Not important. What is important is that the stream for the day is done. Tomorrow I will not be hungover. And we will work on other things. We're going to work, I guess, on the extend power up, and then maybe on, if we have time, which is a big if-ish, and then maybe on multi-ball. I'm actually a little worried if I might go over the sprite limit for, is the sprite limit for a row 4 sprites or 5? Or I mean 8. I don't remember. Not important. Figure it out tomorrow. Figure it out all out tomorrow. I mean, worst comes to worst, we can only expand the paddle by 8 pixels, but we kind of want to expand it by more than that. But if I do that, it might hit the sprite limit. The Game Boy can only draw a certain number of sprites per line. That might be 4 sprites, which would be bad. There'd be a way around that, which would be to cycle which sprites we draw on any given frame. And because the Game Boy screen is garbage, it's still, the ghost of the sprite from the last frame sticks around, so it's not a big deal. So that could be a thing that we might do. Might be worth doing just for the educational experience of it, since that is a very common technique for Game Boy games, given how restrictive that sprite limit is. So we might do that. Anyways, that is super whatever. I am going to now go off the stream. I'm going to no longer stream for today. I will be back tomorrow. We will do extend. It will be a party. I can't wait. Maybe my cat will join us. Have a good day, guys. I love you all.